I'm going to fix your back pain once and for all with these simple changes you can make. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physio, I'm a PT, and I've been a PT for about 8 or 9 years, and I've worked with thousands of people, and probably close to 100 people, to help reduce their back pain symptoms. My main aim as a PT is always to get people in really, really good shape, but over time you end up coming across certain people, and there's always been quite a lot of people where they've ended up with a little bit of back pain. And that back pain is normally lower back. So for me to help them get in shape, I need to help them reduce that back pain or fix it so they can continue doing the exercise that they need to do to then get in shape. And I'm not saying I can fix it. I'm not saying I can diagnose what the problem is, but I've got a good eye for detail that I can normally see what the problem is, and I can sort of tell with your lifestyle and your habits and what sort of person you are, what is causing that back pain. And just from improving your daily habits, you'll see a massive improvement with that back pain, but then obviously from getting in shape as well. And if you need a habit tracker, I've actually put together a 26-day habit tracker that you can click in the link in the description, and you can get that completely for free. And what you can do with that is you can track your habits on a day-to-day basis to keep you accountable, to make sure you're doing what you need to do to then long-term get in great shape or improve your overall health. But for the rest of the video, I'm going to talk you through the main 3 things that normally cause back pain for people and how we can fix that. First of all, I'm guessing you're a desk worker, or I'm guessing you're a driver. You sit down a hell of a lot and you're not that active. So this happens quite a lot, especially nowadays. A lot of people have desk jobs or sat down jobs, or after work, they'll sit down from there. If you think about it and you train even just 1 hour a day, the rest of the time you're not going to be active. So you lay down for sleep, let's say 8 hours, you sat down at your desk or driving another 8 hours, you drive to work and back from work, that might be another hour, and then you sit on social media and scroll on your phone. It might be more and more hours. So really throughout the day, even if you've trained for an hour and you think you're active, you're probably not. You're quite inactive. And you being sat down for quite a long time is making a few things happen to your posture. And this is causing your back to be a little bit fatigued. Prior to my PT career, I used to actually work in IT myself, and I always used to say the same things when it came to back pain. I always used to get back pain, so I avoided squats and avoided deadlifts. I couldn't do them because I used to get really bad back pain. So what I actually did was work on mobility to help fix the things that were causing that back pain. This is a topic for later on. But once I stopped working in IT, once I started PTing, I was PTing on the gym floor, and I was doing anything between 8 and 10 PT sessions a day. I was more active, I was on my feet all day long. I found that back pain went. 1, I was more active, but 2, I wasn't sat down in bad posture all the time. So if you find that you fit into this category and you're an office worker, a driver, you sit down all day, this is where I'm going to encourage you to move a little bit more. So if you are sat down quite a lot and you get the opportunity to try and move every few hours, so maybe set an alarm on your phone, and every 2 to 3 hours get up and do 15 minutes worth of movement. Maybe get up and do 15 minutes worth of stretching. Just get up and do something so you're not just sat in that same position all day long. If you have sat down at work for 8 to 10 hours, what you want to be doing after work is not just sit down scrolling on social media or watching Netflix. Get up, go for a walk. Do something that's going to keep you active, do something that's going to get your body moving, and that will massively help with your back pain. The second thing, you're probably overweight, and this is where you need to have a little bit of a reality check, and you need to look at yourself and ask, is this one of the options? Because if you are overweight and you're carrying a bit of a belly, you're going to find that's going to put extra pressure and stress on your lower back. Your belly's pulling you forwards, and you're going to be finding that your back is having to carry that load. Think to a pregnant woman, for example. When they are pregnant, when their bump is growing and growing and growing, their back increasingly gets more painful. And it's the same thing if you are overweight. So if you are overweight and you're carrying a bit of a belly, you might want to start losing that. And this is going to come from a calorie deficit. Like I said earlier on, I have a habit tracker, and you can use this habit tracker to track your calories, your protein, your steps, your water, your training, your cardio. You can track absolutely everything on a day-to-day basis to make sure you're consistent, and that at the end of it will help you lose weight. So if you are getting back pain from that gut that you've got, you can use that habit tracker, download it with the link in the description, and that will help you. That is one of the things you can use to fix that back pain. And the third and final thing is you are weak. You might not be weak at a bicep curl, you might not be weak at a chest press, you might be really, really good at a leg press, but 9 times out of 10, the people that I find are getting back pain have got weak glutes and a weak core and probably a weak upper back as well. So if you're sat down all day, you're sat in this position, you'll find that your chest is always contracted, so that's going to be tight. Your back is always lengthened, so that's going to be quite weak. Your glutes are in a lengthened position, so they're going to be weak, and your abs are also never working, so they're weak. So you need to spend a little bit of time and work on them. I'm not saying just work on them in the gym, but they probably need a little bit of focus when you are training or when you are in the gym. So what you could be looking at doing is spend some time stretching your chest off, spending some time stretching your hips off, but also spending quite a lot of time strengthening your glutes. This could be something like a hip thrust, a deadlift. If it doesn't give you back pain, you do some sort of kickbacks. You could be doing some sort of squats. All these will massively help you. Lunges, split squats, there's loads of stuff that you can throw in there. All these things will massively help you in terms of strengthening your glutes. In terms of your upper back, you could do some sort of rows or some sort of pull downs to strengthen the upper back. For your chest, to stretch your chest off, because that's probably going to be quite tight, just doing some sort of wall stretch where you stretch your pecs off a few times each day. If you have been working, you might want to do that in between work as well. So if you've been sat for 8 hours, you might do it, let's say you work between 8 and 5, you might stretch at 11, at 2, and then when you finish work at 5. So you might want to spend some regular time stretching that in between walking and moving. You'll find that things will ease off from there. Core work. To start with, you might not be able to do a crunch-based movement where you crunch, because you might actually feel that in your lower back. Your core might be that tight, and your core might be that weak, and your hips might be that tight that you actually struggle to get into a crunch position. So this is where you might want to go into sort of basic holds and stationary movements and isometrics. This could be something like a plank or a hollow hold. You could even do something like a Pallof press, something that's not going to cause you to flex your spine, because with that you might find you get a little bit of back pain. Long term, you should be able to do everything, and we want to be able to do everything, but we want to be able to get your core working first, get it stronger, and then add more and more bits in there when you're no longer getting back pain. And then with your hips, something like a Samson stretch, you could do this on the sofa, and just something that's going to stretch your hips off. So, basic overview, you want to stretch off your hips and your chest, and you want to strengthen your core, your glutes, and your upper back. And if you can get into doing something like this, you'll find that all the areas that you need to get stronger will get stronger, and all the areas that are currently tight that need to loosen off a little bit will get more loose. And what you'll find with this is that will put less and less pressure on your back. What you'll find is if you've got an office job or a driving job, you'll have what we call an anterior pelvic tilt. And this is where your pelvis tilts in a certain way that is going to make your core relax, it's going to make your glutes relax, but it's going to make your back switch on quite a fair bit. So we want to do these exercises. We want to strengthen your core, strengthen your glutes, strengthen your upper back, loosen off your hips, loosen off your chest, to bring you out of that anterior pelvic tilt more into a neutral pelvis. And what we're going to find with that is that you'll gradually, slowly take away that pain from your lower back, because it's not going to be fired up and working all the time. And with that, you'll find that your back pain will reduce. Like I say, I'm no doctor, I'm no physio, but I work with thousands of people. I've helped close to 100 people help improve their back symptoms and maybe get rid of the back pain completely. One of them being myself. So if you are always getting lower back pain, have a look at yourself and see where you fit in one of these 3 camps. You might fit into all 3, and then from there you need to look at assessing what you need to do to try and fix that. And if you need any other fitness tips just like this, drop me a follow on Instagram, because I release daily fitness tips every single day, along with my client's progress, my own progress, and I can show you exactly what I do on a day-to-day basis.